Okay, so I'm just going to walk through my 8 areas of geomorphic change that I found. I'm using the DEM 2005 to 2004 to track the changes, or to look between those 2 years for the changes. And then, of course, the red is degradation and the blue is aggradation. So start with looking at the 2 points of bank erosion. So the first one I picked is right up here at the top of the reach. And I picked it because it was a thin layer of pretty dark red. Right here, that's along a obvious bank. And if we look at the previous year, the bank used to be kind of in between these blue and red locations. So obviously the bank has moved farther to the right. So that means there's bank erosion there. And then the second spot of bank erosion is right about in the middle of the reach here. And so again, kind of the same thing. In 2004, the river came in between kind of this bank erosion and this blue area. And now in 2005, it's moved farther to the left. So there's this area of obvious erosion right along this bank here. So those are the 2 bank erosions. And then next we'll do bed aggradation. So the first one is up here. It's kind of a large area through the middle of the channel. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of blue going on throughout this. There's probably some bar development going on here, as this is kind of the center of the channel. Looks like the channel comes, this full width, and now there's areas filling in the middle. So that was my first location of bed aggradation. There might not be full bars yet, but the bed is definitely raising in that area. And then the second area I chose is kind of in the middle of the reach. And as you can see, kind of looks like over on this left side, the bed has raised, and then on the right, it has degraded. And so there's been a change in the flow pattern. And so the flow looks like it's moving a little bit farther to the right. And so this is a slower area of flow. And so there's aggradation here in this zone. The next one is bar development. So it'll back up to the top. And I picked this area here because it's an obvious blue strip that's well defined. And if you look at the 2004 to 2003 DEM, it looks very flat. And now there's an obvious rise. And so there's a bar developing here, and it's pushing that flow further out around to the left and creating some bank erosion here. So this is definitely a bar that's been building. And then the second one is all the way down here, kind of in the middle here. So the flow is kind of splitting around this bar. And you can see there's been degradation on both sides, but there's been aggradation through the middle. And again, it's a large, pretty solid area where there's been a lot of aggradation. And right at the top here, there's a really dark area. That's probably the nose of the bar that's being built. So this is my second location of bar development. And then the last one is bed degradation. And so this is the first area kind of going along with that bar, where it doesn't seem like the channel has changed shape that much through here between 2004 and 2005, but the bed has definitely receded, as it can be seen through this dark red area. So the bed's degrading without a lot of change in the shape of the river. So the banks are pretty stable here. It's just degrading down. And then the other area of bed degradation is down here at the bottom of the reach. Looks like there's quite a bit all through here. And again, it doesn't seem like between the 2 years, the bed or the river has changed shape that much. It's been kind of in the same channel through the bottom of the reach in both 2004 and 2005, but the elevation is getting lower, so the bed's degrading through this area, and there's a lot of transport out of the reach if all this at the bottom is red. So that was my last location of bed degradation. So those are my 8 locations of geomorphic change for this reach between 2004 and 2005.